Alright, so one of the things we're going to do is do some drawing when we're doing design technology. And one of the things we want to draw up, and we're actually going to make, is this. Just a simple piece of framing timber. It's 90 millimeters high by 200 millimeters wide. And the steps here, these are 30 millimeters, 30 millimeters, 30, 30. And we're going to drill a 25 millimeter hole. But prior to making everything that we make, especially in design technology, we have to do a drawing. If there's no drawing, you won't be able to make it, because how do you get it from one person's head to another? So to start off with the drawing, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need a bit of tape, you're going to need an eraser, a 2B pencil, you're going to need a ruler, a steel ruler, this drawing board, and a set square. Now how we set this up is we put this down below, and we set this nice and square using a bit of masking tape. We just need to tape off the corners so it sticks in place. Now what we're going to be doing is an orthagonal drawing, which means that we're going to be seeing it from 3 different sides. We're going to be doing a drawing of the front, we're going to do a drawing of the top, and then we're going to be doing a drawing of the right hand side. This is a traditional and standard drawing, and within that we'll put measurements in there so that whoever reads it can then understand. Now what we need to first of all do is we just need to put a border around it. So if I just measure 10 millimeters on each of these, 10 millimeters, just a 10 millimeter border, that's all you need. Then using this set square, big T square, just draw a line across like that. Same on that one there, just draw a line like that. Same up the side here if you can. The same on this side. So it's just 10 millimeter border all the way around. Next we want is what's known as a title block, and a title block has our name in it, what the item is, and the scale. So we're just going to do 15 millimeters will be enough. So 15 millimeters. Ooh. So what we want to do in here, the title block, is you just want to write our name. So I'll write my name, you can write your name. What the product is, we'll just call it a skill key, or a skill key will do. And the scale is 1 to 1. So for every 1 in real life, it's going to be 1 on paper. Now, don't do this. There's no need to do this. So what you need to do is get a ruler, and you can start off here. And I usually suggest you start about 50 millimeters in from the edge and 50 millimeters in from the bottom, which makes it about here. So that can be my starting point. So using my set square, my T square, my ruler, I know that that's 200 millimeters. So I'm going to draw that to 200 millimeters from there to 0. And we know that it's 90 millimeters high. So I'm going to go 90 millimeters. Oh, over a bit more. Okay. Now, we also need to put dimensions in. So when we do dimensions, we want to know how far it is from one spot to another spot. So we do a little line like this. And we know that this is 90 millimeters, so I'm going to put 90. And then we're going to do what's known as a dimension line. So that tells me that that figure there this figure here goes from this spot here to this spot here. If you just did a 90 and an arrow, we don't know where the arrow goes. The arrow here tells me that it goes to this line here, and the arrow here to this line here. The same when we're doing this side. We know that this is 200. So if I push that across, and we know that that's 200, then I can draw my dimension line. From there to there. Now, we know that by measuring this, we know that this is 30 millimeters and this is 30 millimeters, so therefore 30 and 30 must equal 60. And if this is 200 from here to here, then how far is it from there to there? So that'll be 200 minus 30 minus 30. So calculate that out. I know what it is, so I'm going to draw that line there. Now I need to come down 30 millimeters. Now instead of going at 0 or bringing it down to 30, I'm just going to I'm going to do 100. So if I put it on 100 and I take off 30 millimeters, that means I'm going to draw the line from 100 down to 70. You can use whatever you like, but you don't have to always have it at 0. Try to use some of the middle numbers and use in your head some subtraction and some calculations. So now we need to go across another 30. So I might put that on 100 again, and I'm going to go to 130. Now we want to come down another 30, so I'm going to put that on there. And if I put it on, say for example, if I put it on 50, for example, if I put it on 50, I'm going to come down 30, which makes it to 20. Then I'm going to go across another 30. Make sure you share square. Now technically these two should just line up perfectly, which they do. Okay, so that's just looking at that. Now, what we want to do is work out where this hole is. Now this hole is actually in the center and the center. So on the center here and the center down there. So what we need to calculate here is what's half of 90 mil, or what's half of 200 millimeters. So if I set my to 0 there, what's half of 200? It's 100. So I'm going to do a little line here, and that's my center line. So that's the center from there to there. Then we want to go the other way. We want to go this way. We want to go up. So what's half of 90 millimeters? So half of 90 is, all right, and that's the center there. And then if we just bring that across here, I'll put a C line through that, and that's the center there. Now that's where you're going to drill your hole. So this is where this is going to be 25 millimeters in diameter. This just shows the length, but this symbol represents the diameter, how far the circle is from here to here. So that's that piece we need to do. So go ahead and do that. Then you can put your dimension, you can even put dimensions in. So we can put, say for example here, we know from there to there to there to there. Now we know that this is, how much was it? And we know that this one was, and we knew that this one was. Nice if I had the lines all correctly done, but I'll make them a bit bigger. So just half an hour at one end, but as you can see, when you're doing when you've got an extended line. So we know that what those measurements are. So what are these measurements by looking at it? If we've divided 90 into 3, that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, and that should be 30, 30, and 30. Okay, so that's just doing the front piece. Go ahead and do that. Now then what we're going to do on the top up here is we need to do the top piece. So how does it look from the top? And then on the right hand side we need to see how is it going to look from the right hand side. So go ahead and do that. Start off with that, and then the next video will be about how to do the right hand side and the top.